These are the best and worst superhero fight scenes in Marvel movies.
Prove to me you can beat me with that.
So Rogg, Captain Marvel's mentor, shows up for this amazing final sequence of fight scenes, and we're going to see him finally, show me your power, show it, hit it with me, and then she does. She's just way overpowered and just one-shots him, blows up the entire fleet, and blah, 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 and boring. This final battle for Captain Marvel is just laughable. The sequel to the original X-Men kicks off with an amazing fight scene of Nightcrawler just kicking everyone's ass in the White House. It is just such an engrossing scene. His teleportation effects on how he takes out and maneuvers, kicks the ass of all the security guards in the White House is just badass and makes this by far one of the best and standout Marvel fight scenes of all time. Of course, this scene was going to have an abundance of CGI, but it is just so ugly to watch. It is not clean. And with the symbiotes ripping each other apart, and you see Tom Hardy and the other guy in the symbiote just look like an absolute mess. And they needed more time in post to really put this and clean it up together. Seems like they just had to shove this movie out because they had a release window, and it looks bad. It looks bad. Captain America the Winter Soldier gives us a lot of good fights. Honorable mention is when he fights that Russian guy at the very start of the film. That was just so good. I love that. But this highway fight between him and Bucky has so much emotional stakes. It has a lot of tension too. Black Widow gets shot. Cap's getting his ass kicked. It's kind of even on the playing field. He's not just beating the shit out of Bucky. He's actually taking hits. Really engaging fight. And then the reveal of it being Bucky and Cap having like a bit of a hesitation and kind of freeze. This, oh my God, perfect ending to the summary of that fight. It's just one of the best MCU fights they could have cooked up.
I'm the only one who can stop her.
If you would call this a fight scene, yeah, I don't know about that. So Jean Grey, the ultimate badass Dark Phoenix, comes out and she just stands still on a pile of garbage and just one-shot kills and turns everyone to dust around her until Wolverine walks up to her, which is kind of a cool scene, but she doesn't do anything interesting. She just stands there turning people to dust. Kind of like Thanos after his snap, except that was way more compelling. I'd rather watch the Juggernaut from X-Men The Last Stand. That's how bad it is. The Spider-Man 2 train fight. Not only is this film so iconic and it has arguably one of the best superhero stories of all time in all of the Marvel franchise, but it just has such an amazing battle showdown of Doc Ock and Spider-Man and the civilians in the way. It just makes things more tense, durable, and the train gets broken and Spider-Man has to stop it. Like, there's so much awesome stuff that happens in this sequence. It is by far one of the best, and I will not argue with you. This one you can laugh at big time, kind of like the Madam Web final battle, but this is just like, what is happening? Why is she fighting a blind man on a kid's playground? What? I know they're trying to make it comedic and it's supposed to be funny, but it's just cringe as, like, the cringe levels just go way too high and they just exceed and explode off the radar. I'm so glad Netflix rebooted and gave us a Daredevil that we can all truly admire and just respect. Madam Web. I love it when Madam Web shows up on any of my lists that I make. Oh, she is just a standout. Thank you, Dakota Johnson, for this portrayal. And so sorry to hear about your agent. Send my regards. What an embarrassing flop of a movie. Nonetheless, this final battle between her and Asikio Sins is just laughable. It is embarrassing. He is the most unintimidating villain of all time. He does nothing interesting. He just punches Madam Web and then he keeps stalking, walking up to her to intimidate her, and he does nothing. He could just one-shot her or throw her off the building because we've seen his immense strength, but no, he keeps toying and tormenting her. Your mother underestimated me, even though she was pregnant, and I just shot her in the gut. It does not deserve your time. Just watch the ending final battle scene, and you'll know what I'm talking about.
My power will equal to yours.
The fight on Titan, wow, this had so much going for it. Doctor Strange using his magic to one-on-one Thanos, Tony moving a friggin' thing to try and crush him, shooting all his rockets and having a one-on-one as well, using every tool in his arsenal he's got to put up a fight, but he just wasn't enough. Thanos was too powerful, and it was great to see the rest of the Guardians crew helping out. Goddamn Quill. It is such an engaging fight. While the Wakanda battle has a lot of good things, this is by far just one of the best fights and has so much tension in it. It is so good because the stakes are so high. The universe is in the balance. The original Avengers has so much going for it. I just love the team up of them fighting the Chitari army. It has so much going for it. They do a lot of teamwork. When Iron Man shoots his lasers off Cap's shield and he reflects it into the Chitari. It's so awesome. And oh my god, then Thor has a final showdown with Loki. Like, there is so much to love in this fight scene, and by far it is quite long, and I can't really narrow it down to one fight scene, so it's just going to take the whole sequence. I'm going to take the whole sequence. It is just phenomenal. I love every aspect of that ending fight, and it is just by far one of the best Marvel fights of all time.
It would take all of us. Or maybe just one of us.
So the almighty Doctor Doom returns in this sequel of Fantastic Four, and he takes on Johnny, who absorbs all the powers of the team, which is a really cool concept, but he just takes out Doctor Doom willy-nilly, gets the board back, and then, yeah, Doctor Doom's taken out, gone, whatever. He's toast. Like, it was just so short. Nothing interesting happened. Johnny just kicked his ass, and that was it. Done. Doctor Doom. See you later. Just like the first film, but except the first film had a better fight scene, which is crazy, because that one was also short, but this one was somehow 1/10 the size, and just even shitter. How did they do that? I don't know. It's a bit of a skill, actually. It's a bit of a skill for these writers to do this. What a stinker of a fight. Embarrassing.
What the hell are you?
Logan was such a gritty film, man. It had some brutal parts, but that farm scene where Logan faces down the X-24 and he just goes up against him and he starts slicing and, doing all this shit, but then he just heals and takes it on the chin, then starts fighting Logan and kicks the shit out of him, and he gets his ass beat and bloody. The sequence is so full on, and yes, they have a final showdown later in the film, but this was like, brought out a bit more Wolverine from Logan, because Charles just died, and then he just comes out swinging hard, getting angry with those claws and getting into him, and it is just, oh my god, my heart, oh man, I felt Logan's pain, and it was just, oh my god. Like, this was such a small sequence, but the fact that it was so bloody, so much raw emotion in it, it just makes it just one of my absolute favorites, and by far one of the best. That's going to sum up this video. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and all that rubbish, and I'll be sure to see you all on the next video. Mwah.